I'm Bob Davidson, co-founder of the Davidson Institute. I would like to invite everyone who came here tonight to the 9th Annual Davidson Fellows Awards ceremony. The Davidson Institute for Talent Development is a national nonprofit that supports profoundly gifted young people. One of the ways we fulfill this mission is through this Davidson Fellows Scholarship Program, which recognizes the extraordinary achievements of students 18 years old and younger. Tonight we'll be celebrating this year's 19 Davidson Fellows. I'd now like to introduce my wife and co-founder of the Davidson Institute, Jan Davidson, who will join me in presenting the 2009 Davidson Fellows Awards. Jan?
Thank you, Bob. I would like to thank our honorary hosts, Senator Reed from Nevada, our home state, and Senator Chuck Grassley of Iowa. I would also like to thank the National Museum of the American Indian, for allowing us to have our event here. We thought it was appropriate because Bob and I reside in Nevada, and that's the West, and we thought since the previous venue we outgrew at the Library of Congress that we would do it here. So we're grateful to be here. Bob and I first saw the space last year, and we wanted to have the fellow ceremony, and we hope you enjoy the Native American art as much as we do. Tonight we are celebrating the accomplishment of 6 Davidson Fellows at the $10,000 scholarship level, 10 Davidson Fellows at the $25,000 scholarships. And we will begin with 3 Davidson Fellow laureates who are receiving $50,000 scholarships each one. And the first one is Melody Lyndsey, a 17-year-old young woman from Honolulu, Hawaii. Melody, please come up and talk to us about your music portfolio.
Aloha, my name is Melody Lyndsey, and I have the honor to be a Davidson Fellow Laureate in music. I would like to share with you a little about what being a musician means to me. I performed my first harp recital just 2 weeks after my first lesson on the harp. I was 4 years old, and the world was my oyster. I strode up on the stage and plucked out Beethoven's Ode to Joy with 2 fingers. Halfway through the performance, I played the first wrong note of my life. Shocked, I stopped and softly uttered, "Oops." I looked at my mother sitting in the audience and whimpered, "Mama," as my face crumpled up with tears. My mom came up to the stage and whispered to me, "Don't give up, Melody, you can do this. We all want to hear you play." Sure enough, the audience of over 300 people broke into encouraging applause. I sniffled, wiped my eyes on my sleeve, and started again. It was perfect. The audience roared. Everyone was truly overjoyed that I had persevered and succeeded. This experience was a turning point in my life. Ever since, I love to perform, never get stage fright, hardly at all, and remain grateful for the support of my audience, especially those who return time and time again to hear if I will ever get it right. All of us are here today to celebrate mankind's best achievements. We share a passion and fearlessness for investigating the human potential. In my portfolio, Harping Around the World, Cultural Leadership for the 21st Century, I joyfully establish a human connection between performer and audience. I offer a set of blueprints that will inspire young people to discover and successfully pursue their own passion for classical music. I would like to thank Mr. and Mrs. Davidson and the Davidson Institute for believing in the potential of young people. I couldn't have done this without my mentors, Mrs. Constance Harding Uegio, Principal Harpist of the Honolulu Symphony, Professor Elsbieta Schmidt, Harp Professor at Indiana University School of Music, and Mr. John Starr Alexander, Composer and Choral Director at Iolani School. I thank my Nana, Jane Chung, for loving me and buying me a new harp when I outgrew my old ones. Thanks to my dad, Dr. Mark Lyndsey, for being my official harp mover, and to my mom, Dr. Holly Chung Lyndsey, for keeping me humble. I thank my little brother Christopher. Without Christopher, he'll be stuffing me into sheep costumes and Chinese mushroom hats. We all have the responsibility to share the best of ourselves with others. I will hopefully do so at Princeton University, where I plan to study chemical engineering and, of course, harp performance. Thank you.
Before I give her her award, I just learned something from her mother, that when she came out of the womb, she was singing. The doctors had never seen such a thing. I thought that was so cool. Here you go.
Well, I have the honor of making the second award to a $50,000 scholarship, but before I do that, since I've been reminded that we're from Nevada, I thought I'd just mention that we have a few of our friends from Nevada in the audience. First of all, we have Dr. John Lilly and his wife Jerry. Dr. Lilly has been the president of universities, the most important of which was the University of Nevada. And also we have with us Dr. Stephen Wells, who's head of the Desert Research Institute in Nevada. So. But they're not receiving $50,000 tonight. They already got theirs. At any rate, our second $50,000 scholarship winner is Nicole Roads, a 17-year-old young woman from Vancouver, Washington. Nicole, please come up and tell us about your literature portfolio.
Good evening. Thank you for coming. It's a huge honor for me to be here with all of you tonight, especially the 18 other really astoundingly brilliant Davidson Fellows this year. My name is Nicole Roads, and my work was in the category of literature. It's a portfolio of writing called The Dictionary of Distance. The Dictionary of Distance is intended to explore the effect of distance and separation on a piece of writing, not just physical distance, but the intimacy of a writer with a character, the level of detail employed, and the relationship between a character and the world around it. I really feel that my generation has a unique perspective on distance based on the changes that have taken place recently in the world, including the increased ease of world travel, the high rate of divorce, and the attacks of September 11th, 2001. Personally, I spent a year living in China, which has informed my perspective. For me, I hope this award will help me be taken seriously as a writer when I pursue it in other venues. It's already given me confidence to continue exploring and stretching the boundaries within which I write. I'm not sure where I'll be next year. I'm applying to colleges this fall, but I know that this honor will go with me. I'd like to thank my family, of course, and the Davidsons, and my nominators, two of whom happen to be the people who taught me how to write, Jennifer Hochhalter and Colleen Kimsey. Thank you.
Eric Sherman is a 15-year-old young man from Faruta, Pennsylvania. Eric, please tell us about your fellow science project.
My scientific research project was titled Computer Analysis of the HLA Histocompatibility Complex, Identification of Bone Marrow Donor Matches. This project involved the coding of a custom computer program which can be used by scientists to determine whether two individuals are a legitimate donor-recipient pair. Current techniques to identify bone marrow donors can cost thousands of dollars and require several weeks to perform. My protocol requires the sequencing of HLA genes and inputting the data into my custom computer program for analysis. This provides roughly the same information for $600 and requires less than 24 hours to perform. Even though this technique was designed to identify bone marrow donor matches, there are no known restrictions that would prohibit it from identifying possible donor-recipient pairs for other transplantable organs, such as hearts, livers, kidneys, and lungs. This research ultimately creates the possibility to save millions of dollars and hundreds, if not thousands of lives each year. I'm delighted to be named as a Davidson Fellow Laureate. The monetary award, which I plan on using to aid in paying my Swarthmore College tuition, is a nice reward. However, the real pride comes in knowing that several professional scientists have scrutinized my work and determined that it has a potential positive benefit to society. I would like to thank Dr. D. Holmes Morton and all of the staff at the Clinic for Special Children, a nonprofit clinic in Strasburg, Pennsylvania, where I did my research. In addition, I would like to thank Mrs. Patricia Wee, and my longtime high school scientific research teacher, whose efforts to help students find their potential is endless. Finally, I would like to thank the Davidson Institute for Talent Development. Without the generosity of Mrs. Wee and these organizations, my research and its benefit to society would not have been possible. Thank you.
Our first $25,000 Davidson Fellow awardee is Erica Debenedictis, a 17-year-old young woman from Albuquerque, New Mexico. She came a long way. Erica, please tell us about your fellow science program.
Hello, everyone. My name is Erica Debenedictis. I entered in the science category with my project titled Space Mission Design, where I was researching low-energy orbits. Low-energy orbits are a type of orbit that take into account the gravity and movement of planets as possible sources of energy for spacecraft, rather than solely relying on the spacecraft's fuel for propulsion. This approach to travel in space is similar in many ways to traveling on our oceans. The first explorers used winds and currents, which are natural sources of energy on Earth, to propel their sailing ships. In the same way, we can use natural sources of energy in space to propel spacecraft. I really appreciate this scholarship because, first off, it'll help me go to college, somewhere where I really want to go without worrying about money so much. And also, this is a recognition of my work, and that means a lot to me. And I really, really appreciate it. Also, this entire process, from presenting my work, working on my research and my report, to talking to you today has been a wonderful experience for me, and I'd like to thank the Davidsons for this opportunity. I'd also like to thank my parents. They've been extremely supportive of me, and I have a crazy schedule and a lot of ideas, and they've been a wonderful help to me. I'd also like to thank my nominators, Dr. Cordwell, Dr. Moeller, and Mr. Carey. Dr. Cordwell was the first person who got me really interested in math, and he supervised some of my first steps in this area of research. Dr. Moeller has given me a lot of feedback on various projects throughout the years, and I've always found his input really insightful. And Mr. Carey was my sophomore physics teacher. We did this experiment in class one time where you roll a marble down a hill, and you have to calculate how to get it into a like a little cup on the floor somewhere. And my team, we got it the first time we tried it, and I was so amazed. It was like my wow, physics actually works moment. And so that was a real starting point for me. So thank you, Mr. Carey. And I'd really like to thank all the people I mentioned, as well as a lot of other people who have been really supportive of my interests and my ideas. I really want to thank each of you, and I want you to know how much I value your support. Thank you.
Nolan Taki is a 17-year-old young man from Hilo, Hawaii. We have two Hawaiians here today. Way! Nolan.
Hi, my name is Nolan Kamitaki, and the title of the research that I worked on is Programming a Network Approach to Contain the Spread of Epidemics. So my work is in the field of science, and I focus primarily on designing a computer simulation to model the spread of infectious diseases. After reading many news articles on the subject, many of them in the past are about avian flu, H5N1, and more recently about the H1N1 swine flu, I became interested in determining how different viral characteristics, such as infectiousness or virulence, and various medical supply distribution patterns would affect an epidemic spread across the social network. So I first started with a particle-based simulation to analyze the basic interaction rates, and later moved on to what's known as a small world network, which is what's currently believed to be one of the better estimators of the current social population. In general, I found that children, due to their greater degree of social connection, are the most useful for prevention and are also the most effective recipients of any medical process, whether you're looking at antivirals or isolating anyone. My work can hopefully augment research being done by other epidemiologists and researchers, public health coordinators around the world, and I wish to continue my studies to improve my simulation and explore different types of methodologies that could be used in the future. I plan to use this scholarship in pursuit of higher education at a university. I'm looking at the East Coast right now, but haven't decided on a specific college. Lastly, I would like to thank my parents for all their support, my teachers for all their help, and the nominators, and everyone else who played an integral role in assisting me during the course of my research, and of course, the Davidsons and the Davidson Institute for the scholarship. Thanks.
Jason Corellis is a 17-year-old young man from East Setauket, New York. Jason, please tell us about your fellows science project.
Hello, my name is Jason Corellis, and I'm from Setauket, New York. It's an honor to be here tonight. My research was in the biochemistry field, and my project is entitled Mechanistic Studies of MenD, a novel drug target for methicillin-resistant Staphylococcus aureus. I conducted my research at Stony Brook University on Long Island. I studied an enzyme called MenD that plays a role in the biosynthesis of a lipid called menaquinone in Staphylococcus aureus, the bacterium responsible for staph infections in humans, which is a major public health concern. Menaquinone is crucial to the pathogen since it is an electron carrier that's involved in cellular respiration, which is the process by which it harvests the energy that the bacteria needs to survive. I constructed a mutant strain of the bacterium with a disrupted MenD gene and observed its growth only on media with menaquinone added, which is strong evidence that MenD is essential for the survival of S. aureus. Over the summer, I returned to the lab and continued working on the same project alongside graduate students, and our results might be published in 2 peer-reviewed scientific papers. Hopefully, my research will be a contribution to the development of a new class of antibiotics targeting the MND enzyme and staph infections. I'm extremely grateful for the Davidson Institute for their recognition and their scholarship, and will spend the money on my education at Brandeis University in Massachusetts, where I plan to pursue a major in either biochemistry or biophysics. I also want to thank my parents and my brother Michael for all of their encouragement, support, and for schlepping me back and forth to the lab each day. I would also like to thank my mentor, Dr. Peter Tong from Stony Brook University, as well as the other graduate students I work with, and one in particular, Hua Zhu, and all of the other people who have helped me in the course of my research with their guidance and training. Without everyone's generous support, I would not be here tonight. Thank you again.
Okay, our next candidate is Emile Evine, who is a 17-year-old young woman from North Potomac, Maryland. Amy, please tell us about your Literature Fellows portfolio.
To prepare to receive this immense honor and to speak at this awards reception, I examined my literature portfolio, Grayscale Unraveled, at closer range than I had in a long time. As I perused the stories, poems, and essays, I not only reread, but also re-experienced the concepts I had described. Grayscale Unraveled explores the choices inherent in everyday life that do not seem on the surface like choices at all. The pride, intellectual excitement, and critical skepticism various parts of my portfolio inspired are not only reactions, but also decisions, evaluations of a past endeavor, of a past intellectual identity. Even those choices inherent in the most routine actions are potentially transformative. The contemplation they elicit leads to an evaluation of worldview. Trivial affirmations of aspects of existence can renew confidence in an approach to life, and equally tiny repudiations can drastically shift a life's direction. My portfolio explores the tiny but potent events that determine, more than drastic decisions or surface descriptors, who we are and how we live. In conjunction, the black and white of the decisions we make in each moment form the grayscale that describes our world. Grayscale Unraveled will act as a foundation for my future literary explorations as I continue to examine the nature and degree of a character's self-determination to probe the underlying philosophical statements of texts. I hope to develop these ideas further into a new, universally applicable approach to literary analysis. The $25,000 scholarship will finance part of my college education, which will prepare me to earn a graduate degree and participate actively in the intellectual community as a writer and professor. I'd like to thank my family for all their assistance and support throughout this and all of my endeavors. I'd also like to especially thank my nominators, Mr. Reddington, Mr. Orders, and Mrs. El-Kasabani for their criticism, insights, and patience. I really appreciate all the time and energy you devoted to me and my project. Thank you also to the Davidson Foundation for awarding me such an immense honor, and congratulations to all the other fellows honored here today. It has been amazing to hear about your projects, and I really enjoyed meeting you over the course of our stay in Washington. Thank you.
Dana Nougat is a 17-year-old young woman from Teaneck, New Jersey. Dana, please come up and tell us about your fellow science project.
My science project is entitled A Study of Arsenic Metabolism and Renal Function in an Arsenic-Exposed Population in Bangladesh. I found that the association between urinary excretion of arsenic metabolites and creatinine is likely due to their shared metabolic pathway, and that giving creatine supplements may be an effective way to prevent and treat long-term exposure to arsenic. More than 100 million people worldwide are chronically exposed to high levels of arsenic and are at risk of serious diseases such as cancer and heart disease. Based in part on this research, a randomized trial of creatine supplementation is currently underway in Bangladesh. I am extremely grateful for this award, which will help enable me to continue scientific research in the future and try to help improve the lives of others. I intend to use this scholarship to further my education in the sciences, first at Columbia College and later, I hope, in medical school. I am deeply grateful to the Davidsons for their generosity and their support of young people's research. I also would like to thank my mentors at Columbia University School of Public Health, Dr. Mary Gamble and Dr. Joseph Graziano. As always, a special thank you to my parents and family who have always been so supportive of me. Thank you.
Alison Ross is a 16-year-old woman from Mercer Island in Washington. Alison, please tell us about your fellow Outside the Box project.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Alison Ross, and I'm from Mercer Island, Washington. Thank you for coming to share this celebration with my family and myself. I want to thank the Davidson Institute and the Davidson family for awarding me this honor. I want to extend my appreciation to Shannon Harrison from the Institute for her continued support and encouragement throughout this project. The rest of my I could not have done this without you list I'll save for the conclusion of my time up here. My outside-the-box submission isn't rocket science or computer science. I wrote an analysis of African and Western heroes' journeys in literature to help me better understand the books and plays written by contemporary African and African American authors. In high school, we were reading classical Western literature and mythology. During the course, I was exposed to the works of Homer, Virgil, and Sophocles, and we were discussing the journeys of their literary heroes, using Joseph Campbell's hero cycle as a framework upon which to base our analyses. I love to read, and included in the panoply of books on my shelf, there are many works by contemporary African and African American authors and playwrights. To better appreciate this body of literature, I recognized I needed to better understand the fundamental cultural differences that lay at the roots of their writings, read stories that were not part of my heritage, study unfamiliar mythologies that portrayed humanity from a very different perspective. This material was not a part of my standard high school curriculum. And there was another challenge. Joseph Campbell based his literary theories on the writings of Carl Jung. Campbell's heroes all shared a collective unconscious. But little was written about the stories of pre-colonial African mythology. I wondered how these very different pre-Christian iconic protagonists would compare to their classical Western counterparts. I wondered if common themes existed between these African stories and traditional classical Western heroes. If Jung's collective unconscious applied to all of humanity, connecting these two diverse literary cultures. If there are common themes of humanity that unite our heritages. By highlighting the interconnectivity of literature, mythology, and human nature, my project is designed to provide readers with insights into their own searches for identity. And by presenting this material as a supplement to a high school honors English or college curriculum, I hope that pre-colonial African literature and classical Western mythology, traditionally presented as discrete disciplines, may be taught together and understood from a common framework, that of Joseph Campbell's hero's journey. I hope to continue to develop innovative curricula that challenge conventional thought and cultivate an appreciation for learning. I plan on studying both the sciences and humanities, and am interested in how ideas are communicated across all disciplines. I want to thank the teachers and guidance counselors at Mercer Island High School, especially Curtis Johnston, English Department Head, for their support, guidance, and giving me the freedom to follow my passions. Also for reviewing the text, which is over 200 pages long. There is a very special actor, G. Valmont Thomas, who performs with the Oregon Shakespeare Festival in Ashland, Oregon, who I would also like to thank. G. Val took the time to meet with me early on in my studies, and we discussed the themes of August Wilson's plays. He recommended I examine pre-colonial African mythology to better understand contemporary African and African American authors. Finally, I would like to thank my family, who puts up with me, present tense, for their support, faith, and the continual supply of paper and toner that got me through this effort. Thank you, and good night.
That was wonderful.
Yeah.
Absolutely wonderful.
One more.
Good job.
Anshul Samar is a 15-year-old young man from Cupertino, California, the home of Apple Computer, which he has not yet taken over. Anshul, please tell us about your Outside the Box project.
Good evening, Davidson Fellows, Mr. and Mrs. Davidson, family members, and distinguished guests. It's an honor to be here to receive this Davidson Scholarship and to be part of such a talented group of people. Thank you so much. The goal of my project, igniting interest in chemistry with Elementary the Chemistry card game, is to be able to make learning a side effect of fun. In the Elementary board game, element cards have their own unique personality. Oxygen becomes Oxygen Life Giver, sodium is Sodium Dragon, or helium is Helium Genie. And these cards can interact and battle with one another. Players can use these cards and their properties to attack with oxidation states, navigate on the battlefield, create compounds, and rust, freeze, and shock other cards. By using elements, compounds, black holes, and supernovas, elementary and middle school kids are able to learn while battling with chemistry and having fun. You can check it out at www.elementio.com. After 2 years of prototyping and dozens of visits to FedEx Kinko's to print out prototypes of the game, I formed a business around my game and incorporated my company last year as Alchemist Empire Inc. It's been an amazing journey from prototyping to working with artists from around the globe, negotiating with manufacturers and retailers, meeting other CEOs, and being able to present my game at the American Chemical Society and National Academies of Sciences. I would like to thank the Davidson Institute and the Davidsons for this fellowship and scholarship. I would also like to thank my advisors and mentors for helping me navigate through my entrepreneurial journey. And above all, I would like to thank my shareholders, mom and dad, and my sister for not just supporting me fully in the company, but for countless spent weekends, late-night order fulfillments, and encouragement, love, and patience. As Davidson Fellows, I believe that we're completely redefining cool. We're changing the world because we've all done something different. We've engrossed ourselves into something that we're so passionate about that whenever we work on it, we lose track of time. And to be able to do so with such encouragement from our families and friends is a true gift. So let's create ideas, combat with the obstacles, and conquer the world. Create, combat, and conquer. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm awaiting the announcement in the Wall Street Journal of the hostile takeover of Apple. So.
We've had so much fun today and yesterday with these young talented people. Roman Stolyanov, Okay. I'm not done yet. I'm going to tell them all the things you told me today, all out here to everyone. No. It's a 17-year-old young man from Addison, Texas. Roman, please tell me about your fellow science project.
Well, that last speech is pretty hard to beat, not gonna lie. Hi everyone, I'm Roman from Dallas, Texas, where I'm currently a high school senior. First, of course, I'd like to express my extreme happiness at being here in Washington. No doubt this trip is gonna be a memory of a lifetime, which I'm gonna tell my kids and my grandkids 100%. It goes without saying that all 19 of us fellows can give ourselves a great pat on the back because we're all very happy to be here and we all deserve it. For my specific project, I entered in the science category. In my work, I pretty much worked with super reflective mirrors, mirrors which are much more highly reflective than regular mirrors because they don't have any metallic materials, so they don't convert incident energy into electricity, which makes them highly more reflective. Right now, they are used in applications such as fibers, which are used to guide light in, wow, I'm so nervous, wow, my voice is shaking, sorry guys. They're used to guide light into any direction pretty much. They're used also in minimally invasive surgery to guide radiation to destroy tumors within the body. This allows tumor ablation to occur without invasion of the body. I'd of course like to thank my parents very much for their support. We had not a few conversations, over dinner about my work, and they were definitely there along every step to guide me. Both of my brothers as well, main contributors to not only my project but my development as a scientist, always there to challenge me when I was a kid. And the rest of my family, of course. We're all a pretty close-knit bunch. My Davidson winnings I'd like to use to first, get into the best undergrad program that I can, and then to probably go to medical school, hopefully, and then maybe attend a neurosurgery residency. That's my main goal. And Davidson income will definitely help with that. Let's see. The rest of my speech I wrote down, but I feel like it would be better if I just kind of went with it. In the past few days, I've met some truly amazing people. Last night I listened to two literary geniuses, Amy and Nicole, argue about better than the Harvard professors can over Fitzgerald. I met a 15-year-old CEO. That was pretty amazing. Two 16-year-olds which are already in college. A 13-year-old piano prodigy. So it was really an amazing experience, which a lot of us don't get to experience very much back at home. When a group of people as motivated as us get together and are able to interact, especially during those hangout nights, I'm really looking forward to tonight's. It's really a wonderful experience, which you don't get to see very often. So I'm very happy that I got to experience it, and of course, a big thanks to Mr. and Mrs. Davidson and to the entire Davidson Institute for really organizing such an event, because frankly, there's more to it than the awards or the money. This whole trip has been quite an experience for all of us, I'm sure. Thank you very much. Yeah, probably.
It's that mirror thing. Okay, we're going to play switcheroo here because of an important event that's going to occur at 7:30 a.m. Pacific time tomorrow, and that's the birth of our 5th grandchild. So Jan is on her way. Filling in is Tacy from our staff, and I'm sure she'll do an excellent job. And I'll show her how. Doreen Shu is a 17-year-old young woman from Indianapolis, Indiana. Doreen, please tell us about your fellow's philosophy portfolio.
Good evening, everyone. Standing up here is literally a dream come true. My Davidson Fellowship project was entitled The Roots of Evil, and it was in the field of philosophy. In my portfolio, I explored the foundation of evil by delving deep into the human psyche to examine several distinct sources of evil, ultimately concluding that all human evil is caused by frustrated human desire. I explored this newly defined dimension of evil with an enlightened perspective, hoping this will allow evil to be more effectively fought, leading to a more progressive and harmonious global society. As I enter my senior year in high school, I hope to continue to expand on this passion for thinking and philosophy and continue my research efforts. I am grateful and confident that the Davidson Fellowship will make a difference as I set my sights on college and beyond and chase my dreams. This project would have never been possible without the infinite and invaluable support of 3 people: Melora Moore, Chris Watkins, and Mary Imig, who all became my nominators. I am also deeply indebted to my mother for her supportive role. I would like to thank them wholeheartedly and express my deepest appreciation for their support. Without them, I would not be standing here today. And lastly, thanks to the Davidsons and the Davidson Institute for their commitment and faith in my work. Having an organization devoted to furthering the development of gifted youth is such a privilege, and I am in utter awe of the Institute's dedication to its scholars. Thank you.
It's nice to have groupies, you know? I think that's cool.
Serena Zhang is a 13-year-old young woman from San Diego, California. Serena, will you tell us about your music portfolio?
Hello, everybody. I'm Serena Zhang from San Diego, California. I'm actually studying at the Juilliard Pre-College in Manhattan, New York. My project is under the music and instrumental category and is titled Reaching Out to the World with the Magic of Music. This is basically on bringing classical music to people in all corners of the world and showing them how music can be life-changing in many ways. I have always loved to perform in front of the public since I was a little girl. The smiles from the audience always make me feel happy and satisfied. I still remember after my first performance at a senior center in San Diego, numerous people came to me and said, "Thank you, Serena, you made my day." Since then, I've come to realize that music can reach deep into the human heart. I have performed at school auditoriums, charity concerts, churches, senior centers, and also formal music venues like Carnegie's Zankel Hall and San Diego Symphony's Copley Hall, and I've always had a very rewarding experience. The joy of connecting with people and moving them with music always makes me look forward to the future. I'm extremely honored to be here today, and with the help of the Davidson Scholarship, I can continue pursuing my dream of becoming a professional musician to continue using music to touch and connect people's hearts. I'd like to thank my parents for their endless sacrifice and support. I am also forever grateful to my former and current professors for all their guidance, confidence, wisdom, and patience. And also, I'd like to thank the Davidson staff, and everybody else at the Davidson Institute for showing all their support and giving me the experience of a lifetime. Thank you.
One more.
Thank you.
Connie Kim Chang is a 17-year-old young woman from La Crescentia, California. Connie, please tell us about your fellow's music portfolio.
Wow, you'd think performing the piano would be more nerve-wracking. It's so wonderful to be here tonight. Music means so much to me, and to be a Davidson Fellow for Classical Instrumental is truly an honor. My name is Connie Kim Chang, and I am currently a freshman at the Glengold School in Toronto, Canada. My project is entitled Piano Masterworks Inspired by Beauty. In the project, I perform works by Bach, Beethoven, Chopin, Debussy, and Hinestera, a compilation of great works by just a few of many master composers. As a musician and a performer, my goal is to express the amazing creativity and beauty of their music and to share with others the love I have for classical music. Classical music is an underappreciated art, and I aspire to touch other young people with this wonderful art form. There is no greater joy than sharing your passion with an audience. It is a goal that I would not even be able to speak of without the unwavering support of my family and my professor. Professor John Perry is an incredible mentor, and I look forward to my time at the Glengold School studying under him. I would also love to thank Sally Askew, a lovely person from whom I received excellent guidance and advice, and my amazing grandma, who has never failed to encourage and support me. I would also like to thank Davidson Institute for an awesome scholarship. Will really help me in pursuing my passion. However, the one person in my life who deserves my highest respects and thankfulness is my first and most beloved teacher, Julie Kim, my mother. All I have thus far accomplished and hope to achieve is, and will be, a testament to her love and devotion. Thank you.
Prithwis Mukhopadhyay is a 16-year-old young man from Woodbury, Minnesota. Prithwis, can you tell us about your science project?
Good evening. My name is Prithwis Mukhopadhyay, and I'm from Woodbury, Minnesota. The title of my 2009 Davidson Fellows Project was A Common Food Additive Induces Cell Migration and Premalignant and Neoplastic Transformation by Reducing Aryl Sulfatase B Activity. For the past few years, I have been doing research at the University of Illinois at Chicago. The specific scope of my research is to study the premalignant transformation of mammary cells. I used carrageenan, which is this FDA-approved food additive, to determine the molecular mechanism by which carrageenan induces premalignant transformation in mammary cells. Carrageenan is a widely used food additive, mainly used in dairy products, processed meats, and many other food and non-food products. Based on the outcome of my research, carrageenan is possibly linked to breast cancer and caused by premalignant transformation of mammary cells. It does so by altering the cell migration. I also revealed the various intermediate steps by which premalignant transformation occurs while carrageenan is consumed, which will help contribute to developing a better remedy to treat cancer patients. The future aim of my future aim is to dissect out the cellular mechanism by which carrageenan regulates cell motility, invasion, and premalignant transformation of mammary cells. I'm very excited to receive this award from the Davidson Institute, and it will be a great help to pay for my further studies. I would like to thank my mentor, Dr. Sumit Bhattacharya, and the Davidson Institute for allowing me to, for recognizing my project. I'd also like to thank my parents for their tremendous support during my research. Thank you.
Aditya Palapu is a 17-year-old young man from Oakton, Virginia. Please tell us about your fellow's technology project.
Hey, good evening, everyone. My name is Aditya Palapu. I am 17 years old and from Oakton, Virginia. I just graduated from Thomas Jefferson High School for Science and Tech, and currently I'm a freshman at Duke University. I remember the day many, many years ago when I walked down the aisles of my sister's science fair competition, and I was staring at the skyscraper-tall poster boards. And I actually nicknamed 3 of her fellow participants Math Guy, Science Guy, and Genius Guy. Now, because I honestly had no idea what they were talking about. So while I don't consider myself a genius guy by any stretch of the imagination, it's pretty crazy to think that here I stand today with a project of my own. My project is titled A Heterogeneous Mixture Model for Unsupervised Pattern Classification. So what I did for this was develop a novel algorithm to extract linear and Gaussian relationships from raw data using a bottom-up approach. To give you a watered-down version of this, imagine a large data set where you have thousands and thousands and thousands of data points. What do these points mean? How do the points interact with one another? And what is the larger scope of this? And what information can you draw from this data? So by generating as many models and all possible model combinations as you can, and then iteratively weeding them down, and then finally refining these models to create a better fit for the data, this sort of information and pattern recognition process can be achieved. This worked really well on benchmark iris set data and also synthetic distributions, and was also proven to be very effective on Washington, D.C. crime data by revealing the clustering of criminal activities and also optimal locations for police departments. This project also, I guess, has a number of applications in other fields, including facial recognition, data mining, trend analysis, computer vision, etc. I would like to thank a number of people because I definitely could not have done this project without their continuous support. I would like to start off by thanking my mentor, Mark Livingston, at the Naval Research Lab, along with 2 of my fellow colleagues, Jonathan Decker and Alex Godwin, along with Murthy Bavaraju, for always helping me during all phases of development for my project. I would also like to thank actually my whole TJ faculty, many of whom are here today, including Dr. Glazer, Mr. Jarvis, Ms. Spencer, and Mr. Pierce. You guys have been there during the past 4 years, and I know for a fact that you'll continue to support me in the future as well. I would also really like to thank my parents, Prabha and Ramana, along with my sister Chandrika, for being there with me since day 1 and supporting me during all of my endeavors and also keeping me in check when I need to be. And finally, last but most definitely not least, I would like to thank Mr. and Mrs. Davidson and the rest of the Davidson Institute, because I can say with 100% certainty that not a single one of us did this for any sum of the scholarship money, though that is very nice, or the excellent food we received at this reception, though that too is also very nice. But we all really wanted to help those around us and in our community while also developing ourselves. And it's an excellent opportunity to meet everyone else here, not to sound cliche, but you guys are truly the future of this country. So it's quite an opportunity to meet all of us at a single event over a few days. So you guys really provided myself and my excellent peers before me, along with the rest of the youth community, an opportunity to truly go out, pursue, and achieve our goals. So thank you.
Raoul Pandey is a 17-year-old young man from Rochester, Michigan. Raoul, could you come up and tell us about your science project?
Hey, My name is Raoul Pandey, and I'm extremely excited to be standing here with some of the most talented young individuals that I've ever met. And before I plunge into what I think many of you will find a boring description of my project, let me start out by thanking a few people. So first, my older brother and sister and my parents. They really instilled in me the importance of discovery as I was growing up. And I think more importantly, they gave me the encouragement to pursue that discovery. And I know I've left for college, and I know it's been really hard on my mom, as an empty nest, I'm the youngest, to be alone. It's been hard for me too. I just want to thank you so much for being there. And also, I couldn't have done my project without my mentor, Gopalan Srinivasan at Oakland University, who was always willing to help me with any questions I had. And then my school teacher, Dave Thompson, he's been with me from middle school through high school. And ever since I've known him, he's had a contagious optimism that I'm really thankful for. And then finally, my third nominator was Dr. Devin Hess, who took the time out to read my report, which I'm very grateful for. And finally, I'd really like to give my heartfelt thanks to the Davidson Institute, Taki, and all the other people on the Davidson staff who really have helped make this possible. And I think everyone here can agree that they're making an enormous difference for so many different people. The title of my project, getting the boring part, is a microwave metamaterial lens with negative index of refraction. So in my science project, I created a negative index material made of metamaterials. And I modeled the energy flow through this negative index material in terms of the lens geometry, source distance, refractive index, and focal length. And I found a linear relationship between these different variables with the index of refraction of -1. So my work has application in stealth technology, antenna elements, and lenses that do not adhere to the diffraction limit. I just started my first year at Stanford, where I'm planning to major in either electrical engineering or computer science. While Stanford is a really good school, my parents never failed to remind me that I didn't pick the cheapest college available. And so the money, the scholarship from the Davidson Institute will certainly go a long way in alleviating the cost. So once again, thank you to the Davidson Institute and my parents, my family, and everyone who's been there. Thanks.
Fiona Wood is a 17-year-old young woman from North Haven, Connecticut. Fiona, please come up and tell us about your fellow science project.
Good evening, I'm Fiona Wood. My project, Biophysically Realistic Computational Models of Temporal Encoding in Cortex, combines computer science with neuroscience by using computer models to explore the brain's ability to perceive and measure interval time. I created the first biophysically realistic computational model of a neural network that can accurately encode time on scales of tens of seconds. Temporal encoding is vital for a wide variety of tasks, and increasing our understanding of it will help us to better understand brain diseases in which temporal encoding is impaired, such as Parkinson's, Huntington's, and schizophrenia. Future research, an extension of my project, would continue to investigate the effects of those diseases on the parts of the brain responsible for interval time encoding through additional modeling and experimentation. I would like to thank the Davidsons and the Davidson Institute for providing this tremendous opportunity to recognize gifted students and for all of their work through the Davidson Institute to promote gifted education experiences. I would also like to thank my parents for their eternal support and encouragement. And I would also like to thank my research mentor, Professor Thomas H. Brown at Yale University, for his advice and guidance, and especially for his enthusiasm in accepting a high school student into his lab. Because of my experiences working with Professor Brown, I have decided that I want to pursue a career in research. I am looking forward to the computer science research I am starting at Harvard this fall, where I am currently a freshman. Thank you very much.
Darren Zoo is a 17-year-old young man from Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Darren, can you come tell us about your science project?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Darren Zoo. I'm from Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and I am currently a freshman at Yale University. My project is titled Synthesis and Characterization of Self-Assembled Monolayers of Isocyanides on Ferromagnetic Thin Films, and explores developing more powerful and efficient data storage technologies. Specifically, I analyzed various methods of fabricating these novel spin-based electronics known as spintronics, which are more powerful than conventional data storage technology. I examined whether incorporating molecular wires known as self-assembled monolayers would be feasible in fabricating innovative nanoscale spintronic devices. Ultimately, I have found that using isocyanide-based self-assembled monolayers are viable for implementation into spintronics, which is promising for the nanotechnology field in electronics. I definitely hope to be able to continue my research in some way in the future. As a matter of fact, I'm strongly considering pursuing a major in chemistry at Yale, and I've already begun searching for various research faculty at Yale who work in similar areas as I have. However, as I look into the future, I must also recognize my past, and as such, I'd like to thank everyone who has made this experience possible, namely the Davidson Institute, my nominators, Dr. Wei Yu, Dr. Meyer Halpin, and Jeremy Niskola, the university where I was able to do my research at, which was the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, my former high school, which was the North Carolina School of Science and Mathematics, and lastly, but perhaps most importantly, my family and my parents. So thank you.
Congratulations to all the Davidson Fellows of 2009. We're very proud of you and your achievements. As you move forward through your education and careers, we know you will continue to make a positive difference. These students' achievements didn't just happen. They had the support, as they've noted, of extraordinary parents, teachers, mentors who encouraged them. I would like to take a moment to acknowledge all of these teachers, mentors, and nominators here tonight, as well as the families of the fellows. Thank you for everything you have done to support these marvelous young people. We're thrilled to recognize these young folks, not only for their incredible projects, but also for the journey they forged to reach this point. Each year we are amazed by the breadth and depth of the fellows' accomplishments. With nurturing, gifted students will be among those who will solve the world's most vexing problems. Thank you again for everybody who came here tonight for sharing this special evening with us. Good night.